Hello everyone, Ian Iliona here. Another day in Los Angeles, and by Los Angeles I mean Seattle. I was able to get breakfast today at Starbucks, so I'm happy, over the moon, that I could finally get some solid nutrition into my system. You don't think about it until you actually need it. I played a video game that was on sale on the Nintendo Switch. It was Wolfenstein. And the game's been out for years, and I've seen advertisement for it, and I never played it before. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. I'm used to Bethesda games being a little out there, but this one was just unsettling. The opening sequence right before you get your super suit. I love animals. I truly do. When it comes to being in a world filled with humans that just want to hurt you, it's nice to have animals in your life that, sure, they want food, they want water, and occasionally you have to clean some poo, but they don't ask for anything. They just love you to love you. They want to make sure that you're okay. They want to make sure that you're happy. They want to make sure that you're safe. And I guess if you're about to go on a murderous spree, you have to overcome that hurdle. And I guess it is an important hurdle, but I'm about to cry for a pixelated dog that I didn't even own. It belonged to the character Blastovich. But yeah, I am sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person. I joined the military not to be Rambo. I joined the military to be in the space program because I said, I'm an engineer, you guys are engineers. I mean, it's true, if it came down to defending the country, I would. But the opening sequence of killing a dog, I wanted to write an angry letter to Bethesda and say, how dare you do this? And then I realized that the game has been out for years now. I almost want to say like 10 years. So the idea that I would write a letter to them about a game that has been out for that long is ludicrous. After all, it was well received by fans and everything, and it gives more gravitas to whatever happens next in the flashbacks, so you feel that sense of validation. I understand how storytelling works, it's just that was such a brutal scene, which is really good writing, but yet still brutal. And the tears come. I'm a sensitive person. I can't even see litter on the street without trying to pick it up, which is ridiculous because then people just throw more litter. They see a clean street and they don't appreciate it. There's an adopt a street program. I'm actually going to adopt a street here. I'm going to have a street under my protection because that's the only way to do it. You have to actually own the fact that you walk on these cobblestones, you walk on these bricks, you walk on this asphalt. Because if you don't feel a part of it, then no wonder why you people shoot up the Space Needle. Because you don't feel connected to anything. You don't feel a sense of ownership if you rent, if you have to go to a job and all you can do is spend your money on food or your phone bill. How can you feel a part of a city? How can you feel a part of anything, your community, if every time you go outside you feel less than? No. I'm going to look up the Adopt a Street program, and I'm going to adopt a local street or 2 or 3, or see what the process is. If they're just asking for money, it's like, no, you got to give me more than just, I spent money and then the name has a little placard with my name above it. I need to know that these streets are going to be well looked after. So does that mean I get to deploy people to clean it up, or, will I have a separate broom that I'm going to bring here in a little picker thing and start picking up the litter? Because when you see a beautiful street with no litter, when you see a street that is well looked after, you feel a little bit better. It's small. It's not the same high that you get from someone liking a photo on Instagram. Yeah, I get that, but it's important. I know it's not exactly the most important thing to discuss first thing in the morning, but that's what I wanted to discuss today. The common thread that is throughout all my conversations online of connection. As someone who literally almost slaps the hand out of anyone who tries to connect to me, I'm the worst person to talk about it, but I am the right person to talk about it. It is the case, because I empathize. I don't understand completely, but I empathize with people who say, I feel so angry all the time, I feel disconnected, because that is how most people feel if they're truly being honest with themselves. They feel a sense of disconnect. I mean, you eat in a restaurant and you have your separate table, and if you get a separate table you feel so happy because it's like my space, and you'll still get food if it was a banquet style. Who knows, maybe you start a conversation with people and it doesn't suck. Maybe you make new friends there. Maybe you sit in silence. You can also do that. But we design everything to, no, this is date night for everyone. And it's like, really? For everyone? Because, if 2 guys get a table, are they on a date? Are they? I don't know. I'm progressive. I'd like to think that they could be. I did mention the fact that Seattle wanted at least $800 for an apartment here. What? I'm seeing homeless people with beachfront property. Yeah, it's a tent, but you're right on the beach. I mean, if Seattle is of the mindset that you can do that legally without too much hassling, that is a goal. Because what do you really need an apartment for? Yeah, it's nice to have a place that you could hold your things and then lock the door. But guess what? You leave. Some people put cameras there, some people don't. But your sense of security comes from the fact that you own a key. It doesn't come from the fact that you can trust your neighbors, which is a bigger issue. If you could trust your neighbors, then you wouldn't even need to lock your door. My neighbor across the way in a shelter that I stay in, because I'm not paying rent for Seattle, not after you fucking shoot up the Space Needle. No, you don't get rent from me. You get some money for food, because, I will eat, but I'm not going to spend money on living here. But either way, my neighbor across the way, he just leaves his locker open. And that's the difference. We do lockers. So whatever you own, it's not, oh my God, I've got my own giant television. I've got my own refrigerator. It's, no, think about it carefully. Think about it. Are you a chef? No? You're terrible at cooking? Okay, then don't cook. Let other people cook who've been trained and do the same meal to perfection or to a high enough standard every day. Do you need a television? How much time do you actually spend watching television? If you're being honest, millennials, you're not really watching television. You watch your cell phone. You say you want the biggest screen, you save up your money, and it's a thing for people. It's a sense of status to have a large screen. But you don't even look at it. Sometimes you have that big screen in front of you and you'll still take out your cell phone because the cell phone feels more exciting than the action that you paid thousands of dollars to see on a larger screen. If that doesn't tell you stop buying those screens, I don't know what will. So, as I keep saying, he's across from me and he has his locker completely open. He just doesn't lock it anymore. Why? Because there's a camera right there. So if anyone did take anything of his, it'd be pretty easy to find out who it is, and even better, then you could just kick them out, which is great. Because why would you want to live around a thief? And two, you can just air out your stuff. I mean, he's a stinky guy. I'm a stinky guy. I can say it, guys stink. And he gets to air out his locker. He gets to air out his clothes. His clothes are well ventilated. His shoes are well ventilated. He smells a little bit fresher. And that's nice. It's nice to be able to not only trust, but trust the system in a way. There's an honor system to having a camera directly on your stuff. And it's freeing to say, I could leave my stuff there.